Menachem Cinner, how are you?
Menachem Cinner. What's the name of your company?
DuraFrost.
Explain what that does.
We do all different types of frosting and tinting for commercial, residential, anything you need. There's a bunch of different problems. We have a bunch of different solutions.
So my experience with frosting is when I was a kid, we bought the spray for the window, right? That was like the coolest thing. We would spritz it and then we would come off.
So we don't do that.
Okay.
We do it a little bit nicer than that, and it stays on for longer.
So explain what does that mean, right? I mean, explain the business.
So there's a lot of different things. So there's a security aspect, which we can explain in depth. There's energy efficiency. There's design. There's comfort. A lot of different problems. A lot of the problems that we have a lot of different solutions for them.
I mean, if you're talking about frosting windows, yeah. So make a frosted window. Why do I need you?
Exactly. So that's a question we ask. It's a great question. We get that asked all the time.
I get paid major bucks to ask the good questions.
Oh, that's great.
Go ahead.
So the answer to that is there's a few different reasons why aftermarket is actually better than pre-market.
Okay.
Number one, there's many more options aftermarket. We have thousands of different designs, different types of tints, different types of frosts. So many different things that we could do aftermarket that you cannot do pre-market. That's number one. Number two, in a lot of cases, it's cheaper actually to do it aftermarket than actually pre-market. Number three, you can always change your mind. If you change your mind, if you have the frosted glass and you don't want frosted anymore, if you get a whole new glass, over here you can just remove it professionally.
But your frost is so good, it's hard to remove. Okay, but give me the how many people work in your company?
So right now we have 10 people full time.
Wow.
And we have a lot more people.
That's so interesting. I think it's just a niche business.
Yeah.
And
right now we service the entire United States.
To do what? Give me a typical example. Give me a typical example of a client.
So a school, for example. So that's actually the security aspect. So these days, there's a lot of problems in the world, and there's a lot of tension about security in general, especially Jewish institutions. The government gives security grants to schools, shuls, stuff like that. We could actually use those grants for certain products that make the glass stronger and actually harder to access through if you break it. Meaning, right now, if you go to any regular glass, you break it with anything, a bullet, a hammer, a crowbar, a rock, whatever it is. You break it, you walk straight in, you gain access. It's the easiest way to get into a building. However, if you put our film on it, and which is paid with security grants, it takes 3 to 5 minutes longer to break in, like a windshield of a car.
I know what you're talking about.
Right?
Yeah.
It actually tempers the glass. That's what we do. And it's covered by security grants if there's security grants, which is a really, really big product right now, which we're selling in a lot of schools across the United States.
Okay, that's not your typical client. What's your typical client look like?
Any office buildings, interior, right? They want for design. And everything is glass these days.
So you mean all these curvature, fancy frost, that's
all
what you do?
Frost, exactly. That's one of them. That's another type of client. There's a large residential buildings or office spaces. They want energy efficiency. They want tint on the glass because there's a lot of heat coming in from all the windows. Energy efficiency. And you can actually use energy efficiency grants for this stuff as well.
Do you tint people's car windows?
We don't do cars.
Is that the number one question you get?
A lot. We get that a lot, yes.
Timachat Toiva, help me out.
Nah.
So how you started this business?
I did.
How'd you start it?
I saw a need for it. I started on a much smaller scale. I saw a need for my own personal house.
Explain yourself.
So I needed stuff done in my house.
What'd you need?
Some windows frosted, some bathroom windows, some regular windows. And I looked around, asked around. There were a couple of companies. Couldn't get a hold of them. Couldn't, get through it.
You didn't do like any regular person, go online, find a spritz or a film?
I did, and it came off in a couple of days like it happens to everybody else.
I hear. And you look interesting. So how do you develop the business?
So I looked into it, and I saw it, and I looked into it a little bit more, and I saw the need for it, saw what I could do different than other people are doing, and I just jumped into it.
Do you own the company yourself?
I do.
That's amazing. And you live where?
I live in Jackson.
AKA Lakewood Light.
AKA Lakewood Light.
It's okay. And how'd you build up the business? It's a fascinating thing because you had an idea, you started, I don't know where you got the materials from, you reached out to companies, how'd you do that?
We figured that out.
And
trial and error.
Wow. And now give me the biggest project you've ever done.
To date, it was probably a school complex that had like 7 or 8 buildings in it. All of them 3 to 5 stories. That was probably the biggest project.
What did you do there? That's the coating of the stuff?
A lot of the security aspect, which is free to them, and a lot more. Frosting, interiors, a lot of stuff.
You do residential as well?
We do.
You do anything for a price, right? Why not?
Yeah, it's good.
So what suggestion would you give to someone who wants an in-house frosting? What would they do without calling you? What products are out there that work?
There aren't any good DIY products, really.
They have all these like peel-off stuff.
Yeah, and it comes the same way you put it on easily. It comes off easily as well.
So what should someone do?
Call us.
You come and do for one window in my house?
One window's a little bit too little, but yeah, a couple windows we could do.
That's very interesting. What is a thing like this range? What's the industry like? What do they go for? I know it's a hard thing to put you on the spot, but what does that mean?
We have thousands of products. You have to be a little bit more specific of what you want, but a house could be anywhere from a few $100s to a few $1,000s. The bigger it gets, the bigger it gets.
How do you get the word out there? How do you build your business? How do you build a name?
A lot of networking. Places like this, OGBA.
It's your first year here?
No, this is my 5th year here.
Did you make money from here in the past?
I did, actually. Yes.
And people
this year, we a couple hours ago, we just closed a big deal.
You serious?
We did.
Today?
Today.
That's such a great story. It's so interesting because, people talk about Shtadlis and Mamun and B'tach and all this time, and I really feel that this is a basic thing. You call me, say, this is what I do for Parnassa, maybe hire me. Simple as that.
100%.
What does your booth look like?
Come check it out.
I did it.
Booth 844.
What does it look like? Describe it. I'm serious. Describe your booth.
We have a nice backdrop. Right away you see it. You see exactly what we do, the service that we do. We have some of our products displayed to see like what we do. A little video, just seeing some of the projects that we did.
You have 10 employees.
Good people standing there and explaining.
You're Geschmack. Yeah, you're the best salesman in your company.
No.
What do you do in your company? You're a salesman?
I'm the CEO.
In English, what do? You do sales?
I've done it all, but at this point, we found the right guys to do each thing. So we have very good installers, we have good project managers, we have a great sales director. Just hiring the right people. That's the name of the game.
It's very interesting because you seem like a very charismatic person. You did the sales in the beginning, right?
Obviously, I did the installs as well in the beginning.
Installs as well. Wow. What do you do for stress, Robert Cinner?
Good question.
I'm
trying to figure it out.
Take a deep breath like that. It means I got it.
I'm trying to figure it out.
But what do you do? What do you think I do?
Honestly,
you don't know. That's the most honest answer that you can give. No, it's the best answer. You don't know the answer.
I don't.
It's fantastic. First, I love the fact you started a Geschmack business. You have what's the breakdown of people who work for you? You have installers. You have from you to work for you as well.
Yeah. So we have installers. We have project managers. We have a sales team, a phenomenal team. We have a back end team in the office, billing, stuff like that, and just.
It's such a unique business. Do you do any fancy? Tell me some fancy stuff you've done.
Yeah, a lot of people actually want our products just for the niceness of it, for the design of it. For example, there was a building that we just recently did. It was a medical office building, 5 stories in Toms River, New Jersey. It was an older building. It had blue windows, just old blue glass.
I like blue, but whatever.
The designer hated it.
Okay.
So they redid the entire outside of the whole facade of the building. They repainted it and did new bricks and new things. The windows, they didn't want to replace. It's very expensive to replace. So what we ended up doing is a very strong tint, a very strong black tint. And now you look at the building, you see the before and after. It's
wow.
And it wasn't even for the tint.
It's so interesting. It's so people. I'm looking at people in the crowd that are here. Like they find this fascinating. The whole concept of frosting. It's a unique business. Also, you're excited about it. You're very passionate about it.
Yeah.
It's a pleasure meeting you. Thanks so much for coming along.
Thank you so much.
Good job.